Hey, how we doing?
I know it's been a couple weeks. Doing well. Currently under rehab for my property out in Waco. It's going well. Knock on wood, no major issues. I'm terrified to say that.
Yeah, yeah.
So far, it's running smoothly.
Good.
Um, Goal is to wrap up rehab end of December and then rent it out in January. So I think it's going well. My question for you is when do you usually start after you wrap up a property? When do you feel like you can start focusing your attention on the next property?
Yeah, that differs based on individual capacity and really your own experience too. Because once rehab is done uh, and you've got it rented out, even if you've got it, don't have it rented out, once rehab's done,
Mhm.
I think it's reasonable to start focusing on the next property because you've just got the refinance process. Now you need to start that. The problem that some people run into is when they start focusing on this new shiny thing over here, they forget to
Mhm.
refinance their property and they realize that they're not making any cash flow because instead of their mortgage payment being $350 a month, their hard money loan or whatever is $750 a month. So
Mhm.
the $350 that they thought that they were making in cash flow is actually getting chewed up and they're not making anything. Right. And
Mhm.
you've got appreciation and stuff like that. And that's fine. But just make sure you start and continue the refinancing process once you get things moving. So, but yeah, I mean, if you've got the liquidity to go ahead and go after another property, I think after that time period's done, great. So, start looking for other properties. If you need that money from the refinance to be able
Mhm.
to put you in a position to close on your next property, then you really just need to speed through the refinance process. But it comes with when you have more experience and um, more experience means you need a little bit less emotional and mental capacity to make it happen, right? Because you
Mhm.
understand things are a little bit more routine and you understand the granular pieces to it. So you can move a little bit faster. So you can take on multiple BRRRRs at a time. And that's
Right.
fine. In your position, I think that once you finish up rehab and you've done the final walkthrough and everything's good to go and you're ready to start leasing it, then I think looking for another property is completely reasonable.
Yeah, I guess what I didn't expect was after closing and my rehab plan was in place and everyone was to go and knew what they were doing. Um, there wasn't much for me to do besides write people checks and make sure they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. And I was like, I thought this was going to be a really busy portion of it. And I'm like, I'm not doing very much. I'm like,
Yeah.
should I be using this time to be doing something
Yeah,
else?
and you can. And that's the thing is once you go through the craziness of actually getting everything lined up and you pull the trigger and you close on it, most of the work is already done.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so for those that haven't closed on their first property and gotten through rehab, it feels like everything's going to be chaos
Mm-hmm.
even after you close on it, when really you close on it and people start doing their stuff and you're realizing you're not really doing a whole lot,
Yeah.
right?
I was
Like
like,
you
oh,
look
this
up and
is
you
the
realize,
fast
okay,
part.
my loan is due this month, so I got to send over the money for that, or I need to send another distribution, send me pictures and whatnot. But it's not every day you're spending hours on it, right?
No.
So,
Yeah.
um, so that's where I think closing on additional properties is completely fine, and it really just depends on your pace and your capacity.